This is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to, I know what I think I know what you're looking for, but I feel led to give you something a little bit different. And it's going to be two things, one involving myself and one involving someone else. I think I've made it known that loving your job and hard work is good not only for yourself, it's good for the organization. It's good for the people around you. To me, a leader is one who, for example, if I'm in the military and I've got to go out and we need to dig foxholes, then I'm going to grab my shovel and I'm going to get out there and I'm going to dig my own foxhole. I could tell somebody else to do it, but I need to show people that I am willing to do that. We need to be, it doesn't matter how high up in the organization that you are, you need to be willing to do anything in the organization. As a matter of fact, there have been a few times that when I was interviewing people for a job that I did something a little different just to see what kind of reaction I'd get. I would take a piece of paper and crumble it up and put it on the floor between where they would enter for the interview and where I was seated, just to see if the person was willing to recognize that piece of paper being on the floor and recognize the need to get down and pick it up and either throw it in the garbage can, or if it was one that looked like it might have information, put it on the desk and give it to me. So I'm looking for people who are willing to work hard, don't mind doing things like that. And there's a lot of positive benefits to that. And here goes my two. I mentioned to you a while ago about my little bout with cancer. Well, a lot of people don't know how that came about. But I was having a little bit of a problem. I could lean back and I'd feel this little tickle. I'd start coughing. Well, I'd had an upper respiratory infection several months before. I thought I was getting another. So I go down, my wife says, why don't you go to the immediate care center and let them check you out and get you some antibiotics. Okay, well, I go, tell them what my problem is. I said, well, let me get the nurse out here. Nurse comes out. I tell the nurse what the symptoms are. And the first thing out of her mouth is, well, why don't you go to the emergency room? I said, emergency room for a cough? I said, can't you just give me some antibiotics? I said, I'm pretty sure it's probably another upper respiratory infection. And she said, well, they can check you out better than we can here. Why don't you go? Okay, needless to say, I was mad. I was fixing to go to a different immediate care center because I figured I could get something there. I jumped in my truck, I was headed to the house. And all of a sudden, I heard two words out loud. And those two words were turn around. Ugh. Well, I was in my pickup, and I thought somebody was in the pickup. Because like I said, I heard the two words I heard were out loud. So I turned around, there was nobody back there. Needless to say, I turned around and I went back to the emergency room. Anyway, to make a long story short, they found the tumor in my lung. Well, they couldn't tell me what it was. I needed to do a biopsy. When I went to the doctor to let them do a biopsy, they couldn't do it because of where it was located, because it was right next to my aorta. And so we decided that the only thing that we could do is take it out. So put me in touch with a surgeon. Went to the surgeon on Tuesday, and he told me what we would do, and he said, well, when do you want to do it? And I said, well, what are you doing this afternoon? And he said, what about Thursday? I said, well, what about tomorrow? He said, do you think you can be ready? I said, I'm ready now. And so anyway, he explained to me what we would do, that I'd probably spend 4 or 5 days in the hospital. I'd be about 3 to 4 weeks out of work. I could go back a half a day for a while, and then after a few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, I could go back full time. Got out of the hospital on Saturday. I was in church Sunday morning. The following Wednesday, I came back to work for a half a day. The following Tuesday, I came back to work full time. I enjoy what I do. God has given me the opportunity to do that. So I love to work. I love to work hard. I love to get there early. I love, don't mind working through lunch. It's not affecting my family at all. As a matter of fact, it makes me happy. It makes my family happy. I think I'm more productive that way, simply because of the attitude that I have to make myself bring to work. The other example was one of my friends and coworkers down at Troy who got pancreatic cancer, which is fairly deadly. My sister died with it. And so he came to see me one day, and we prayed and we talked about it, and I said, Lewis, I've got one bit of advice for you. And he said, what's that? I said, you maintain the positive attitude that you always got. Pray, but you maintain that positive attitude and you pray every day. Don't even think about it. Just tell yourself that you're going to work hard and you're going to maintain that attitude. Well, he did. It never got him down, and he survived it. So that's, if there's anything inspirational, God can do anything, and it's up to you to take that and translate that into your good works that you can do for this department.